My name's
My
Bree.
name's Elise.
My name is Claire.
My name is Frances
Hi,
Jones.
my name is Fawn
Hi,
Sanchez.
my name is Carolyn
Hi,
Roskowski.
my name is Jessica.
Hi, I'm Maggie.
My name is Kylie Cahill.
And we are the significant others of our military men. When it comes to being a military significant other, or MILSO as we like to call ourselves, life isn't always sappy homecoming videos, beautiful couple photos with our significant other looking ever so handsome in their uniform, or sunshine and rainbows. Life as a MILSO can be tough and challenging. I interviewed over 30 different women who are in this position and asked them about life as a military significant other. Unfortunately, because of some of their significant other's role, title, or location, I was asked to leave names out. Even still, it was really awesome getting to see a different side of military significant others than what the public is used to seeing. I hope you all enjoy.
Some people describe MILSOs as cheaters, liars, users, and I don't like to see us that way because we're really not. We didn't choose this lifestyle. We chose to be with the man that we fell in love with. Other people say that we're strong, we're, the silent soldiers, quote unquote, because we deal with a whole bunch of stuff that typical civilian relationships don't have to deal with.
Some characteristics that we face being MILSOs are that we will never be fully committed to each other, with my Marine being gone a lot, which is definitely a negative. We get a lot of hate for being together a lot when he's home, rather than being with our respective friend groups, but we don't really care about that.
My soldier was already in the army when we met, and my life has been turned upside down for the better. I have learned to be more patient as they can't always reply to you. They appreciate the time you have together, whether that be a weekend or a week. You learn trust and love harder, whereas dating a civilian, they will always reply, you will always see them pretty much. The relationship is not as exciting as you don't appreciate the time you have together. You're barely apart, see how much you care for them.
I grew up as a Navy brat, so I'm used to this sort of thing. My dad served for over 20 years, and I was lucky enough to grow up all over the world, from Asia and Europe to Hawaii, which is actually where me and my husband met. He was stationed there for 3 years, and we dated for 2 of those years before he was restationed, and we moved to California together. Dating my husband wasn't much of a change for me because being surrounded by the military my whole life, I pretty much only dated military guys after high school because that's just who I was used to. My husband was the only really serious relationship though.
I personally feel like a lot of it's glorified. I never saw myself as someone who was gonna date someone in the military. I never had pictured that, and so the only exposure I really had to it was movies and books and other people's stories, and it always seems so romantic and amazing, which it is, but it's so much harder than anybody will ever know until you're in the situation. And a lot of people also say to me, I could never do it, or you signed up for it, and people just don't understand. I mean, yeah, you could do it. If you love someone that much, then you just do it. I don't know, you make it work, and you can't live without them, and you don't want to live without them, and you just do what you can.
It was something I never saw myself doing, and it's been something to adjust to for sure as well, because the lack of communication, but the importance of communication is something that is really vital and necessary for relationships in the military to work. And that was something that I've had to adjust to because the lack of face-to-face conversation and whatnot, just due to him being away and us being long distance while I'm still finishing my bachelor's degree, has been something to adjust to.
I always actually dreamed about being like a military wife when I was young because I have so much military family. Not like my immediate family, but a lot of aunts and uncles, cousins, etc. that are in the military. So I thought that was really funny.
My favorite things about the military, I would say, is the brotherhood. Like him and his friends, they've been boys, they've been cool since freshman year of college. And not even just the friends, we actually say the friends in his academy, but when he was stationed different places, he has friends all over the world. Like, I know, and I always think about this as crazy, and I never told him this, but if we were supposed to get married, it would be probably a big wedding, more so because, one, our families are both big. Again, we're from two different places. I'm from New York, he's from Georgia, but because he has so many friends, because he's moved so many different places.
My favorite thing about military life is how good they treat us, the many benefits from medical insurance and to making lifelong friends and connections.
I love meeting new people and connecting. It's one of my favorite parts about the military. We have a little community around us and we can make lifelong friendships. And sometimes we may get stationed at the same base, at a different base together again. My other favorite thing is seeing the pride that we all seem to have for the military within the military community. My dislikes about this life are the TDYs and the deployments. TDYs are temporary duty stations and deployments are 6 months or longer. I hate the late and long nights that he has, or always being on call and our plans not going as expected.
The hardest part about being a military wife for me is having to play both roles as a mother and a father while my husband is gone. It gets overwhelming and very stressful having to deal with all the challenges by myself, especially when I don't have a lot of family close by to help. But I have learned so much about myself each time my husband is gone. I've learned how to be independent, my strength, my weaknesses, how to get resolved and solve problem when it arises.
I would say that one of the hardest parts about the long distance was working on our communication style. It actually took us about 9 months of our relationship to really start getting something, down and learning each other's communication styles, whether it be, he really doesn't like to communicate a lot. That doesn't mean, he's not thinking about me and doesn't want to talk to me. And I'm very much an over communicator, so I want to talk all the time. So that was a big learning experience for the two of us because we kind of had to meet in the middle. So one of the things that we actually did was we started doing every other night to every 3 nights, we would do Netflix party. And Netflix party is actually something where you can watch a Netflix show simultaneously. So, on nights where he didn't really feel talkative or, there wasn't much going on, we would watch something like Scandal or we would watch The Ranch. And throughout the show, we would kind of just hang out, talk about the show. And then afterwards, if he wanted to bring something up, he could talk to me. Or if I wanted to bring something up, I could talk to him about it. So really, it would be about our days or just something, that's going on with our families and all that.
A lot of people would say, I think the hardest part would be basic, but for us, it was tech school because our time to talk was very limited since he was in school and I was in school. Neither one of us was allowed to have our phones throughout the day, so we couldn't text throughout most of the day, and then at night, we were both studying for tests or for quizzes that were coming up, so we only really got to talk a lot on the weekends, and we never really got to have any FaceTime days during that time. So his tech school lasted 8 months. So that was definitely the hardest part. And it did get hard there for a while, but you compromise and you make it work. So since he has graduated tech school, he's at his first duty station. So on the weekends, we'll have FaceTime dates where we rent the same movie from Redbox and watch it together while we're FaceTiming, or we'll go to a restaurant that has buffet and we both eat buffet while we're FaceTiming each other. And yes, we have gotten some weird looks, but that's okay because it's just whatever works for you.
We make it work with a lot of communication, as you do with other relationships. I guess instead of planning in-person dates, you plan non-in-person dates and you just kind of make time for each other. And it's not that I have a tracker on my significant other because I don't need it. It's more of we have an understanding of we trust each other to know where we've been. I know what he does during his day. He knows what I do during my day. So it's a lot of trusting
The biggest trial for my husband and I has been the lack of knowing and the inability to truly plan our life. It's hard to think about buying a house when you don't know if you'll leave it in a year, and it's hard to have kids when you don't know if you'll have to up and leave before you give birth. We make it work by honestly leaving it to God, being brutally honest with one another, and knowing that regardless of what happens, we have each other. My advice to a new significant other dating a military member is it's not at all what you think it'll be. It is much harder. Don't fall for the romanticized movies. Don't believe anything until it's happening. Never write in pen, always in pencil, because it will change and then change again.
My advice is to never give up on each other. Always remember why you found love when things aren't going right and when you're not getting along. Remember that every time apart has nothing on forever together, and that you are always stronger than you give yourself credit for. Always. Don't give up on yourself or on your relationship.
If there's any advice that I can give to a military spouse or somebody who's dating somebody in the military or somebody whose significant other is looking to join the military, it's look at every situation with a third eye. Look at it from an outside perspective, because that outside perspective could just open your mind to different possibilities and different ways to handle the situation, so that you don't come up with the wrong solution too early and you don't create more problems, but also so that you both feel like you're doing the best that you can.
Being a milso can be hard and at times overwhelming, but then again, it could also be the most wonderful thing ever. Like some of the ladies in this video have said, when you love someone enough, distance doesn't matter, and you will do whatever you need to make your relationship work. I want to say a very special thank you to each and every single lady that took the time to work with me to answer these questions and to make this documentary possible. Thank you for taking the time today to listen to this documentary and learn a bit more about military significant others.